All right, we got our daily little cruiser here, Ferrari Testarossa. And so doing a vacuum leak test, I pulled this under a vacuum and it was losing vacuum, and it would lose it to about 29.8 and start slowing down. Into the microns, it would lose it rather rapidly. I'm shooting this video after the fact. I used my BlueVac Pro micron gauge in combination with the gauge that's inside the manifold gauges, but as I always tell you, the manifold gauges are not always the best to use, but it's better than nothing if you don't have anything else. I put nitrogen in the system. It was losing pressure slowly in the tenths. After 1 minute and 40 seconds, it lost 1.3 psi. So it was steadily losing pressure. I had it at 160 psi. Lose pressure, lose temperature. Fill it up with refrigerant. It came in empty. That's one fact you need to know. It came in zero, no refrigerant. Filled it up with refrigerant, went around with a leak detector. Only could pick up a minute amount of refrigerant loss through the surface skin of the hoses, especially where they join and they go underneath. I have trace dye in the system, went around what is visible with your eyes, which isn't a lot. Could not find any leaks. So I'm wondering to bank whether the leak was at the lip seal of the compressor. So when you allow a system go dry, you no longer have pressure pushing against the rubber seal that's around a shaft, and the lip seal has to lip right there. They dry out, they lose tension, they get brittle, and then when you try to draw a vacuum or put a pressure on them, sometimes the refrigerant will leak. Say this is the lip seal, this is the shaft, and the lip seal is supposed to be pushed up against there. Well, say it shrank just a little bit, and it's hard and crispy, so when you put a little pressure or put a little vacuum on it, it doesn't pull back on the seal or it doesn't push to the seal, and it leaks a little bit. So sometimes after you put refrigerant oil, lubricate it, you drive it, the lubrication goes in suspension, lubricates the lip of your seal. The heat of compression and friction of the seal up there, sometimes your seal will move a little bit and it'll actually seat to the shaft seal and make a seal. So then you go through a recovery and you put the vacuum pump, and then all of a sudden it holds vacuum. Or you put nitrogen in there and you run a pressure decay test and it passes. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. It's one of those, let's see what happens. So I just recovered refrigerant using my old field piece. I forgot how slow this field, ever since I got the new Navac 4-cylinder. This thing is, now I consider this so slow. So this is extremely slow compared to the Navac. I haven't used it since I bought the Navac. I just used it right now because it was light and I was lazy and I was carrying both units, and the Navac's a little heavy. It's like a full refrigerant tank when you carry the big Navac 4-cylinder. So you can't be a little girly boy. You got to have a little biceps there. So use this, and it's just ever so slow, just to pull 1.5 pounds of refrigerant out. So I will video you back and show you the results when I put this back into a vacuum and or a nitrogen pressure test. Gotta like the way those wires are set out on these Ferraris like this. 12-cylinder. It's not a sideways 6-cylinder.